Hello everyone, Jeff again, Elite Sports Shooting. It's great to be back. I do apologize, it's been quite a while since I've done a video. I did take a job earlier this year where I had to learn a significant amount of computer skills, but I also had to train those computer skills to new employees, as well as I started up my own private tree business again. Mainly doing it for family and friends of friends, that kind of thing. But it's been very busy to try to juggle both of those, as well as volunteering a significant amount at the range. Earlier this year, we had National Open Range Day, where we open our gates to everyone that comes in, and the entire city, the entire area, like the entire southern Alberta is allowed to come and enjoy our shooting sports, our passion, and we let everybody in, and anybody who wanted to come could come. We had about 50 to 70 people last year, and we had well over 300 this year. So there's a significant amount of change, and I really enjoy everybody coming down to the range to just to sample what we do on a regular basis. It is our passion. But anyways, today I have the Browning silver semi-automatic shotgun. But before I get going, I do want to give a shout out to the Gugalooza gun sock. So Gugalooza gun socks are on every single firearm in my gun cabinet, in my gun safe, from handguns, tactical rifles, and more stick guns like my rifle and all my shotguns. I have a few. But anyways, the Gugalooza gun socks, this is the 4-inch version, 52 inches long. They go over every single shotgun I own. So this is an example. I have friends at the range that tease me about having socks on all my guns, but when you got nice tools, you want to make sure you cover them up. But anyways, I also have the Jalisi gun sock, and the Jalisi gun socks I have on my tactical rifle. They have a little bit more stretch than the Gugalooza. Now the Gugaloozas come in a 6-inch, but I'm not going to buy a whole bunch of them, and to buy one of them is kind of irrelevant. So I bought some Jalisis for some different rifles that I do have, just because they have more stretch to them than the Gugaloozas. But the Gugaloozas, I firmly believe in. I suggest them. I will put them in a link in my comments, both the Jalisi and the Gugalooza. But yeah, I don't get any money for them. I just think they're a phenomenal idea. I can take a gun from my gun safe to the range and back, and I know that I'm not going to scratch it. So anyways, that's about it for that. But anyways, the Browning Silverfield semi-automatic shotgun. This is a 12 gauge. It comes in 12 or 20 gauge. It comes with either a 28-inch barrel or a 26-inch barrel. Now, with the 28-inch barrel, the overall length from front to back is 49 inches. For the 28, for the 26, it's 47 inches. So the overall look of this shotgun is actually pretty amazing. I do like that semi humpback look. So this is a cross between the average or the conventional shotgun look and the Auto 5 that John Browning created way back in the late 1800s, just before the 19th century, right before the 1900. He developed that, and he sold quite a few of them. That was the very first semi-automatic shotgun. And it's phenomenal. Like it was a great shotgun. A couple of years back, they reintroduced it. It was a little bit different. It still has the same system, the kinetic drive system, which we call inertia now. But this one here, this Browning Silver, is a gas gun. So gas operated means it's going to run a little bit dirtier. But there's a couple things how this thing runs that I want to go over. So going from back to front, the overall look of it, like that satin walnut finish, wow, it's just a beautiful looking shotgun. I have got a lot of comments at the range with this. A lot of people, they just want to come and look at it. Some of them want to hold it. Some of them want to shoot it. No problem. I let them shoot it, and they absolutely love it. Now, this rubber butt pad, when I first got it, I thought it was going to be a lot harder, but it's vented in here, so it's got a fair bit of give in it. So it's actually pretty good. I do really like it. The stock finish is beautiful, and I love that checkering in there. The checkering in there is actually quite. It's not really overly aggressive, but you can get a good grip on it. So it's got a good hand grip on it. Now the foregrip is actually really nice too. It's a little bit thicker, but that's something that I prefer, is a thicker grip. I do have a Rite Gordian where it's got a really thin grip, and my wife really likes it. Because she has smaller hands. So for her to grip it is a little bit better. This feels pretty chunky in the foregrip and the pistol grip, but I actually like it. I like how it mounts. I like the feel, the overall feel of it, the checkering, the smooth. It's got a little channel here. If you're the kind of shooter where you like to hold your finger down the side when you mount, I'm more of a mount underneath, but to each their own. Everyone's going to hold a shotgun a little bit differently. Now, it's got the 3-inch chamber. Now, just looking at the receiver, the look of the receiver is actually pretty nice. It's got that black, that satin black finish, as well as the silver with the Browning logo. Now the Browning logo is also on the trigger guard as well. So just the actual look of it looks really nice. I do leave the sticker on here as long as I can. I did have someone comment about that. It's starting to come off. It's starting to weather, so I will be taking that off fairly soon. I leave it on as long as I can. So the overall length of this shotgun here is 49 inches. The overall weight is 7 pounds, 5 ounces. So it's not very heavy for a lighter shotgun usually. And I do say usually because I made a comment on one of my videos where with my over and under, it was a little lighter. It was in that 7 pound mark, so it was going to recoil a little bit more. It didn't. I was very surprised. But the action in this shotgun is actually the gas operated system is actually really is really good. It's very unique. It has the active valve system where it actually adjusts to the loads that you're doing. So light loads, it's gonna use more gas to lighten that recoil, and then in the higher hunting rounds or the hunting loads, the higher loads are actually gonna there's gonna be less venting, so you don't feel that recoil, that felt recoil. Now I've shot 3" and 2 3/4 through this, and it's pretty, like most of it has been target loads. Like there's nothing on here for a sling. There's no swivels, nothing for a sling. So I don't know if you're going to be taking this hunting. This is more of something that you're going to be using at the range for sporting clays. And I've been using this for skeet as well as sporting clays. I prefer an over and under when I'm doing trap. When you have people beside you, I don't like ejecting my shells into their head. They do get a little upset. So I use my over and under for trap. But for sporting clays and skeet, I really like using a gas gun or an inertia gun, but something semi-automatic. So I do also like that the higher vented rib on this. So when you look at the part of the receiver that once you get to the vented rib here, that I call it a sight rail, it stands just a little bit higher than the receiver, and I actually like that. When I mount, I want to make sure that my cheekbone is just slightly above the comb. I have a couple where it's right against my cheek, and then I have a couple that on my over and under, I have to adjust that comb to that perfect position. Now the drop at comb on the Silverfield is 1 3/4 inch, and 1 3/4 inch from the drop at comb, and the drop at heel is 2 inches. The length of pull from the front of the trigger to the back of the trigger guard is 14 1/4 inches. For me, this gun actually fits me really well without any kind of tailoring. I do have other guns where I can shim it and I can adjust it. I'm not really sure if this comes with a shim kit, but you could cut it down. If you're going to cut it down, I would suggest taking it to a gunsmith to let them do it professionally. But it mounts really well. I like the way that I look along the sight. It does have a brass 4-bead. Now, I ended up buying, because I like the fiber optic 4-beads. These are a magnetic attachment where you just slide them into place. So I prefer looking down the that fiber optic 4-bead. It comes with 3 flush mounted chokes. They are full, modified, and improved cylinder. This I took off because I like my extended chokes, and when I'm doing any kind of competitive shooting, I like to be able to pull them out without a choke wrench. So I pull these out, I switch them out depending on what I'm doing. If I'm sporting clays, if it's going to be a longer shot, I'll have all 5 of my chokes from my Maxus 2. So the Browning Maxus 2 came with 5 extended choke tubes. I'll take every one of them with me when I take the Browning Silver to do sporting clays. But the overall function of this, it does have the very basic trigger release, or the bolt release. I do like how the Brownings and the Winchesters, actually my SX4, my Maxus 2, you pull it back, it locks her all open every single time, or it just locks it right open. You don't have to hit the trigger release. I do like that. I really do. But I've shot this, like I said, I got about 300 rounds through it. I haven't cleaned it yet, but I'm probably going to have to do a cleaning video on it fairly soon. The trigger itself is actually pretty good. It does have a very minor amount of pre-travel. So if you can actually see that there, there's a very small amount of pre-travel. Now, I did a trigger pull test before I started the video just to move things around. The first one is 14 ounce or 5 pounds, 14.9 ounces. The second one was 5 pounds, 15 ounces. And the third one was 6 pounds, 1 ounce. So you're looking at about a 6 pound trigger pull, which is actually pretty darn good. It's nice and crisp. I like the way the trigger feels against my my trigger finger. Yeah, very small amount of pre-travel. Very slight. But anyways, it's got a good crisp trigger to it. I always like to lock it open. And like I said, very basic charging handle and release. I would, if I could make any suggestions to this, would be a larger bolt release. It just seems like that's the way everything's going. The Maxus 2 and the Winchester SX4 have a nice very large trigger release or bolt release. I like that a little bit better. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with this type of charging handle. It's just very basic. I like that big round charging handle, but this is actually pretty decent. But a couple of things that I would do to this to make it better. I like my mid bead and my fiber optic 4 bead, but you know, I already added the fiber optic and the extended chokes. I'm a huge fan of the extended chokes. Whenever I'm at a stand and I'm relaxing, I either stand there with my action open, holding it kind of like this, or a lot of times you'll put it on a rubber mat straight down where it's just down on the rubber mat, and I would rather damage or wear out a little bit of the tip of the extended choke tube versus my barrel. But anyways, I'd say my overall view of this, I really like it. It's got that rear cross bolt safety. I didn't mention anything about that. It's nice and large. If you look at it there, it's large enough. It's a rear cross bolt safety. I would prefer it on the front because it's where I would push on it and then fall onto the trigger. But when I'm competition shooting or when I'm shooting sporting clays or something like that, I usually, as I'm walking up to the stand and I'm getting ready to shoot, I will actually push that and I don't touch it again until I'm done, and I walk away and I open the action and hit that safety. But anyways, I will do a cleaning video on this a little bit later. I do want to shoot a little bit more through it. I would like to know how many rounds I could put through this before I actually have to clean it. But anyways, that's it for me. If anybody has any questions, please leave them in comments below. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you like the content of the video, click that thumbs up. And as always, keep both eyes on your target. Thank you, everyone.